Hey guys, just a quick update in reference to these Terrifier episodes. One of the hardest things about the Reverend and I recording is that we live in two completely different states. And sometimes we encounter internet issues, and we definitely did during these particular episodes. I did edit them as best as possible, but you're going to hear the glitches here and there. You're going to hear some cuts, and there's just not a lot I could have done to fix that, but I did the best I can, and we hope it doesn't take away from this episode because it was one that we were definitely passionate about recording. So stick with us, and it does get better in the following episodes that we have done. So thank you for listening to Death Holler.
Welcome back, everybody, to Death Holler. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Death. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, La Urena, and we are discussing the second Terrifier movie, appropriately named Terrifier 2 from 2022. A lot of twos in there. Tagline, who's laughing now?
That's a good one.
Who's laughing now?
I like it.
Directed by Damien Leone, of course. Written by Damien Leone. He's perfecting the same story, but you know he gets it better in this one. I'll say that. Music by Paul Wiley again. Made for a budget of $250,000, so a big increase. It made $15.4 million.
Jesus Christ! So wait a second.
I think Damien Leone has a franchise now because of this.
I think he does. Hold on. So what do you have to make? You have to make 3 times the budget, right?
Yes.
To be considered.
Yeah.
And by far, it made 6 times the budget.
Yeah.
Maybe not 6, maybe 5.
It was an independent movie with not a lot of promotion from a big studio or anything. So he saved a lot of money on advertising that way too, I think.
Wow.
Principal players, we have Lauren Lavera playing Sienna Shaw, the resurrected Valkyrie final girl. And she is a looker, folks.
She is. She works out.
She is at the top of the final girl list for looks. I'll say that much. And I would actually argue it's just a final girl that's a badass. She's at the top of the list.
Yeah, she was a little. The thing about her is in my opinion, you can tell me if I'm wrong, she wasn't very feminine, but she also wasn't like broody. She was like a nice in between.
Yeah, she is, but she does have the vulnerability that they've never really introduced in other final girls, where she has like anxiety and PTSD issues from her dad dying.
Yeah.
And, they bring that in there, and they because that's kind of the scene in the movie where she's her friend gives her like Molly or whatever, and doesn't account for the fact that she's already took a Xanax for her anxiety, and it kind of like throws her, makes her extra loopy because of it.
Yeah.
She was also in the horror movie The Whale. I hope that she does more movies. I think she's actually a pretty good actress. I mean, at least from this movie's point of view. So I'd like to see her in more things.
Yeah.
David Howard Thornton plays Art the Clown again, who is a resurrected supernatural clown slasher in this one. He was killed by his own self, and it comes back. Who knows? Some evil force brought him back to life but he's back.
He's back.
Amelie McLean plays the little clown girl, who is the ghost or figment of Art's imagination, depending upon how you view that, because she was somebody that he killed years ago, but if the thing is that other people see her, so I don't know how she's just in his imagination. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
She's actually been in General Hospital like 18 episodes. This little girl has. Like,
Jesus.
I don't know how you do that many episodes as a little kid in a soap opera, but she did.
That's wild.
Elliot Fulham plays Jonathan Shaw, which is Sienna's little bro. He was in the movie called The Pitchfork Retreat. He's not bad as far as child actors go. I mean, he's no Haley Joel Osment, but that's asking a lot to have anybody like that anyways. Corey Duvall plays Seth Bolton, again, the coroner, who is now killed in this movie, so we're going to count him.
Thank God.
Thomas Smith, who plays the man in the laundromat, wrong time to clean. Just, hey, don't do laundry that late at night, folks. Get it done during the day. You get freaks out, you know.
Look at Reverend. Some people work for a living, okay?
Well, and he's working in hell now, so you're welcome. He's in a movie called They See You. Katie McGuire, again, playing Monica Brown, the talk show, whenever she does, because if you watch the first movie, it's a year after, and this is the movie that takes place a year after. So this is where she officially gets her eyes gouged out by Vicky.
Yeah.
Jonathan Davis plays Ricky, the costume shop owner. Casey Hartnett plays Allie, Sienna's BFF, and she has one of the most horrible fucking deaths in any movie I've ever fucking seen, but we'll get to that. Amy Rust plays Allie's mom. She was in The Girl That Got Away, Who Got Away. Sarah Vaught plays Barbara, Sienna and Jonathan's mom. Kind of a hardcore bitch.
Yeah.
And she was in the movie We Have a Ghost. Charlie McElvin plays Jeff, Brooke's boyfriend. Kaylee Hyman plays Brooke, who is Sienna's fun friend. I don't know. She's kind of a bitch to Sienna, but then at the same time, she is the one that's always throwing out the molly. Otto is a big movie that she was in.
Yeah.
And then we have Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp playing Miss Principe, who's the school teacher who tells them to get away from the dead cat outside or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Possum, whatever it was. Anyway, synopsis. Beginning exactly where the first Terrifier movie ended, a resurrected Art the Clown proceeds to kill the coroner that was tasked with conducting his autopsy and then goes to a laundromat to get his clothes cleaned up. Skip ahead 1 year, and it is Halloween again in Miles County, and Sienna Shaw is making a Valkyrie costume to honor her late father's comic design.
Oh, yeah.
Her brother Jonathan is obsessed with the Miles County clown and somehow thinks it's okay to parade around as a notorious serial killer that just took out 8 people a year ago.
No bigs.
That kid's fucked up. Anyways, will Sienna rise to the occasion and become the avatar of good needed to fight the evil Art, or will she be brutally tortured and killed like everyone else? Laundromats get soiled, possum remains are spoiled, and Art redefines the meaning of overkill. In no uncertain terms. Body count, 32 counted.
Wow. I didn't even think that is okay.
34 non-counted. So we have the coroner has his throat ripped open, his eye plucked out, and his head smashed in with a mallet. We have the man in the laundromat, FA cast and executives, 20 people in total, gunned down by a Tommy gun.
Okay, real quick, we got to go back to Man in the Laundromat because it cut out, but that he had a broken mop handle shoved through his brain and out his neck. Blech.
Yeah, I'm hoping this fucking internet's fixed by tomorrow morning whenever there's less people watching goddamn porn on a Saturday night in Eastern Kentucky, so that I can actually talk to the folks and tell them how much I love the 2 movies that we're covering tomorrow. But anyways.
Yeah. But there's the 20 people. I was like, wait a second, 32 people? Okay, there's 20 people. Got it. Okay.
The Clown Cafe host is burned to death with a flamethrower.
That's wild.
Which we're counting now. Spirit Halloween knockoff owner, the Craven store guy, has his broken glass bottle shoved into his eye, a meat cleaver to the skull, and his head cut off at the neck.
Fucking wild.
Allie, buckle in, folks. Allie is sliced down one eye, and putting the eye out, mind you.
Yeah.
Scalped. Has her arm broken and then ripped off at the elbow. It's broken, then ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
Her other hand is ripped in half. Mm-hmm. Like he literally grabs her hand and splits it like a wishbone. Her skin is slashed and ripped from the back. He basically pulls her skin off of her back.
Yep.
She is stabbed numerous times. He stops, gets bleach and salt and pours it onto her wounds. Then
no
pieces.
Okay. So cut off, but half of the face ripped off, legs chopped into pieces. I thought, did she not get caught on fire too? Am I imagining that? Am I having some kind of fucking?
No, he don't set fire to
Okay.
her. So there's.
I mean, that would have. Why not? Why didn't he? Of all the, he might as well.
And she was still alive through all of that, which is it's so ludicrous. It's actually funny at a point in the movie.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where at some point he's beating her so bad, and maybe this is what it's like if you're actually tearing a body apart. I don't know. I've not done it yet. Hope to never do it. But it was so rubbery looking. It was almost like the horrible scenes in the Freddy movies where he's slicing through skin and it just looks like rubber, because that's exactly what it was,
Yeah.
But this was intentional, though. I think that they had a bigger budget, but Art the Clown, like, even though he had a bigger budget, I feel like you can't make it look too good. You still have to give it that bit of cheesiness, because you want the people to enjoy the slasher, but also it's not meant to be taken so seriously.
Yeah, I mean, well, that depends on how you want this, but they work better whenever it's not taken to the super.
Yeah.
Decapitated and her head used as a candy bowl that he gives out to kids.
That's brutal. Allie's mom.
I do not wish that I had Allie's mom. No. Sienna's mom has her head blown apart with a sawed-off shotgun. Now, that's actually a cool scene. I'll give him shit for the handgun in the first movie, but that sawed-off shotgun was badass.
Yeah, and we still get to see effects of it later in the film.
Yes. Jeff has his dick
stabbed and then ripped off. I don't like it.
Brooke has her leg cut on window glass, her face melted with hydrochloric acid. She's bludgeoned to a pulp with a table leg covered in metal spikes, and then her heart's ripped out and eaten.
I don't. At least it wasn't like Ellie.
I told you he's into overkill.
Yeah.
Sienna takes more beatings than any final girl that's ever been in a movie, period. She's beaten, head slammed into a mirror, slashed, flayed
with a razor whip,
sword, and then drowned. She actually dies.
Quotation mark.
She comes back.
Yeah.
And then Art the Clown finally is stabbed with the magical sword that has resurrected Sienna. His neck's chopped twice, his throat is slashed, and then she finally hacks his head off at the neck.
You forgot a really important key detail about Sienna is that with everything that's happening to her, she is looking amazing. She's got muscles, she's getting thrown about, her fucking leg muscles are fucking flexing and shit.
And that costume very much shows off all the goods.
It does, but also in my opinion, in a classy way.
It's not I mean, her mom gives her shit, but it's not as slutty as her mom made it out to be.
Yeah.
Non-counted's a little pale girl because it says she was killed at a carnival and it mentions it, but we don't actually see anything.
Yeah.
And then Petey Possum.
Oh.
Like thrown by Art the Clown inside of the school and gets little, whatever in trouble, little Jonathan or Ethan or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So. Movie review. This movie's way better than the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
The lighting, the effects, the costume for Sienna. I mean, both because of the eye-pleasing quality of it, but also because it's actually a badass costume.
Oh, yeah, it really is.
I like the story better in this one, too, because they give like this weird connection between Sienna's dad and Art the Clown. Like he saw Art the Clown in like these visions he had when he was going through cancer or something, had a tumor on his brain. And Sienna's brought back to life by some force of good to fight the force of evil that Art represents. So it's like she's the Laurie Strode now to
I mean, yeah, I can see it.
What's that?
Oh, I said, yeah, I could see it where you're like, said she's like the Laurie Strode.
Yeah, because I mean, like she was brought back by some good force to fight the evil force that resurrected him. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like good versus, I mean, ultimate good versus evil. The the only thing this movie really, to me, is the negative to it is the length. It does tend to go on. Like, I mean, by the time that it's over with,
Are you like needing a break? Are you like, okay?
it's like I've been through a marathon.
There
or
you go.
something.
Yeah. I mean, because I. Okay, so I had mentioned this before. This is the movie that my daughter decided to put on for my son. I think he was 12 at the time. And he needed to take an actual break. Like, it was so much for him. He got up, walked over to the kitchen. He knows his limits. And he had to take an actual break from watching it. It was still going on. You know, he's just like, whatever. And it's funny because I feel that way too. You just see so much death one after another. And like, doesn't art need to take a break? Like, where does the stamina come from? Can it be better used? I guess maybe in him, with being the vicious person he was, probably very, very horrifically used against women in a way other than killing, so maybe not. But
I'll tell you where the stamina comes from. What was the name of the cereal that's got his face on it?
Oh,
Art Krispies.
God. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think that's where he gets his stamina. You know, if.
Oh yeah, it is Art Krispies. Oh my God, they actually have a T-shirt of it too.
The acting in this movie is a lot better than the first movie.
Yeah,
it just is. That the Lavina or whatever that plays Sienna, like the final girl, or Lauren Lavera, she's much better actress than anybody in the first movie was.
And she takes us through to the end, man.
Yeah, she finishes the movie out like she's supposed to. And I gotta like the character who plays her friend Brooke, the one that gives her the Molly.
Yeah.
Something weird about that chick. She reminds me a lot of the woman who plays Agatha from the WandaVision or whatever. That, you know, they've got similar faces somehow, and the way that she talks.
I'm looking. Yeah, she does.
There's just I don't know, like, but there's not like across the board. I like the acting better in this movie. Just I really do. And the music is top notch. Like, there is some synth wave in this movie that is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think you're going to play that as the outro maybe for this episode.
Yeah, that's what was requested.
God, it's so good. And it's not the only piece in the movie, but it's when they're playing that music over top of the montage of Sienna building the Valkyrie outfit, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm like, it gives you that 80s vibe, like, big time.
Yeah.
And, which is weird about this movie too, because if you look at Sienna's house, you know, but Sienna has like a modern cell phone, so it takes place in modern times. Like, but it's got a lot of 80s like vibe to it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly intentional. We knew it was more of a today's time. I mean, if you even look at the first, well, I guess the first one didn't happen. Which one happened first, or did they happen at the same time as each other? The Terrifier movies.
Terrifier 1 takes place a year before this one in the chronology of the movies.
Yeah, the cars are a lot newer, so it's not like something that is meant to be 80s related or anything. But I don't know. I think it's almost like you have to have a little bit of that nostalgia because that's just part of being in a slasher film now.
That's true. I give credit to Damien Leone, though. He's figured out a way to really market this movie too, because that whole thing with the Clown Cafe, the music that goes along with it, Art Krispies, he knew that was going to be made into like stuff you would buy at Spirit Halloween or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Like he was like, I'm getting paid, bitch. I know what I'm doing with this movie.
I mean, he's created another horror icon. He deserves every bit of it. Now, I want to go back a little bit to the storyline because you're like, I like the storyline a lot better. And yes, in a way, but I guess in order to carry on the slasher and to keep the franchise going, you do have to have a little bit of supernatural, because otherwise we wouldn't have Art. He shot himself in the first film, and the final girl wouldn't have come back because, you know, she got stabbed with the special blade. But I found it to be a bit much, honestly. I still enjoyed the film, but I was like, I could have done without that.
See, I liked it because if you watch the older, like all the older movies, like, I mean, especially Jason, well, even Freddy, these dark forces, some dark side of nature brought these, you know, people back who were hardcore killers or whatever.
Yeah.
And the continued death and, you know, destruction. And then, like, in all those other realities, it was like there was no side of good that was trying to, you know, answer the response. I mean, other than the fact that the final girls were being created. But in this reality, it's like, no, the good just stepped up and said, I liked about it, you know?
Yeah.
The only weird thing is if you watch the very end of this movie, like Art is reborn, his head is reborn through the vagina of Vicky from the first movie. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on at all with that.
I fucking missed that. How did I miss that?
It cuts to a scene in a mental institution where Chris Jericho, yes, the wrestler Chris Jericho, is a nurse, a male nurse there, and it's Halloween night, and he's sharing like his wife's like some kind of weird Halloween candy type thing where it kind of resembles brains or something like that, jellied brains. And the nurse that's working with him, who's not unattractive, she's the one that's supposed to look in on Vicky, and she cuts away and she's like. She's kind of flirting with Jericho a little bit, and then she steps away, and then she goes to check on Vicky, and Vicky is giving birth. Art's head alive and smiling, and then the nurse screaming, and then the movie just kind of cuts off. So
what the hell, dude?
So if he does the tradition like he did with this movie, and he links part 3 to this, what is that head going to do? Like to reform its body? That's what I'm wondering.
Probably a Frankenstein situation where maybe they gotta sew it back onto some fucking body.
Because here's the thing, and I don't even know what's in the scene, but the rumors are that the intro scene to Terrifier 3 was so disturbing that the Hollywood backers who were going to promote Damien Leone's third movie and actually were going to give him funding to help promote it, they pulled out. They said, fuck this movie. That's fucking sick. And he was like, well, fuck you. I've got enough money to be able to still make it. So
yeah, I think, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think you'd agree with me, he's doing fine.
I think the goodwill that he's generated off part 2 is going to make part 3 an absolute, you know, just success. I really do. I mean, it's going to take a lot to fuck up part 3 is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because we've already approached the cheesiness and I don't know. They've done the most that they can do with the 2 films in terms of slashing, in terms of any kind of lore that's involved with it. I just watched the scene. I did not see the scene of her giving birth to his head. I completely missed that.
Yeah. Vicky, the final girl from the first movie, gives birth to Art's head. Like literally.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think they can fuck up part 3, and I think there's such a following of Art the Clown and the Terrifier. Even it would be one of those things like where even if you don't like the movie, the fan base is so big, it's gonna do well in the box office, regardless of what you hear. And what makes me bring that up is look at Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's true.
Case in point.
Here's my question: Do you think that them setting it at Christmas is going to hurt the film, or is it going to help it? Because some people have made the argument that these movies did well because they were set at Halloween, and of course, horror, you know, during my favorite holiday. I love it, you know?
Yeah.
But also horror fans are like, I get sick of the traditional Christmas movies. Give me something scary to watch for Christmas. And Damien Leone's like, well, fuck, here you go. Watch Art, you know?
I don't think that Christmas time is going to hurt it at all. I think if anything, it's going to help because we can only have like we have all these Michael Myers movies, and I get it, but even then, like I am so fucking Michael Myers out. I'm just about slashered out too, as it be. Although thankfully the ones we'll be reviewing tomorrow brought me back. I'm telling you, those horror comedies, man, they'll reel you back in. But
horror comedies with heart is what I would call them, because we'll get into it, but that's the best part of those movies, but we'll save that.
You and I love a good holiday horror because we have to deal with the holidays as it is. I don't know how you are about the holidays. I'm not the biggest fan. Halloween is my time, and now that's being overdone because we got all these fucking basic bitches that are like, look at me, I'm spooky, you know?
Halloween is my time, and I take vacation around Halloween so I can enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
same.
They're like, what? And they're like, why do you not try to take off at Christmas? I'm like, hey, we always get off Christmas. You don't always get off Halloween.
Yeah.
Case in point, this year, my Halloween actually felt a little shitty this year because of the fact that I was working during it, but that's the whole thing. And then, like, secondly, it's like by the time Christmas comes around, everybody has beaten you into the head with it. Like, you know, you've heard Mariah Carey sing, you know, All I Want for Christmas like so many times that you're willing to just pull an Art the Clown and, you know,
just fucking lose your shit. Oh my God.
So the holiday in the picture, but give me something else to watch during that time, you know?
Yeah. So
that's
oh, go ahead.
That's why I love that movie Violent Night that came out last year with David Harbour.
Oh, Violent Night was good.
It's what am I blanking on it? It's just like, I mean, you know, like a classic 80s, you know, movie, you know, action movie, but with the Christmas. I mean, you know, that at least gives you something different to go along with it. So
it's what we need to get us going. And it's funny because your girl over here, she does love those stupid ass Hallmark Christmas films, but even then, I need a refresher. I need some horror in my life. There's some horrors in this house during the holidays, you know.
And I know what movie I was going to say. Die Hard. It's literally Die Hard, but more Christmassy than Die Hard is. So, and yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Don't fight me on this. It is. Fuck you if you say otherwise.
I would fight you on it, but I have not seen it, so I can't recommend a restaurant I haven't been to.
You need to watch Die Hard this Christmas. You do once. It's the best action movie that's ever made.
Okay.
I'm not lying. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'll fucking do it, but I'm going to complain the whole time.
If you can a little bit of just spiteful joy in your heart as you ring in Christmas, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are.
Okay.
I don't.
I lost you. You said if I could do what? If
you cannot see Hans Gruber falling from the whatever part of the Nakatomi Tower
Plaza
to his death, as you ring in Christmas and not get just a little bit of spiteful joy in your heart at seeing that bastard die, then I don't know who you are, and we've lost you.
Thanks to you, I know what the ending is, so I don't have to watch it anymore.
You watch it for you're there for the journey, not for the end. I mean, you know, it's all about the journey in that movie.
Fine, I'll watch it. Whatever. Yeah, I do need to watch it actually because I see all these Christmas ornaments and Christmas memes about fucking Die Hard, and I have no idea what's going on. I am, you know, I'm in the dark, and I have chosen that. I get it. Don't fucking come at me. I'm very picky with my movies. So.
Listen, if it was a random ass like just action movie run of the mill, I wouldn't recommend it to you. But it is literally one of the best that's ever made. I mean, even if you don't want to make the argument that it's a Christmas movie, even though it's set at Christmas, it's at a Christmas party. But if you want to make that argument, fine. But it is still a good action movie, one of the best.
Oh yeah. So, I'll watch it and I'll give a quick review because you know that's not going to be something we review on Death Holler, but I'm sure people will be like, "Did she watch it?"
You can here. How about this? When we cover Anna and the Apocalypse for the cold open, you tell me what you thought of Die Hard.
All right, fine. We'll do that.
Let's move into trivia for this since we've discussed Art the Clown as Santa Claus now. Scenes shot in the Terrifier haunted house were filmed in a real haunted.
Wait, what? There's a place called Fright Factory in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I guess it's like an off-brand HHN type, thing that
Yeah.
they've got set up there. They used what was already available to them, I guess, to save money, and hey, whatever works.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for them. And then the budget goes elsewhere, probably to the gallons of blood that was used in this film.
I need to go back and listen to this. Silent Art the Clown is the person who does the voiceover for the Art Krispies cereal commercial during the dream sequence.
David Howard Thornton. Okay, so yeah, because he doesn't speak at all, but he was the voiceover for the Art Krispies.
He was that announcer guy that's like, Art Krispies, like that whole thing.
That's hella funny.
That's kind of cool. Stephen King shouted out this film on X/Twitter saying that Terrifier 2 grossing you out old school.
He's not lying.
This movie was completely independently made production. Money was raised through several sources without the aid of a studio, and writer-director Damien Leone created all the special effects himself in order to cut costs. He was able to be uncompromising in his depiction of violence and gore because there was no studio demanding that he make cuts.
Okay, but who released it if there was no studio?
I'm trying to remember. I think he just got like he signed on. Cinedigm is the company who released it on home video, and they're the ones behind Screenbox. So maybe they're kind of like an offshoot. They're kind of like a competitor to Shudder. So I think they maybe financed like the studio room.
Maybe production company Bloody Disgusting. Cinedigm, that was who distributed it. But like, was it in theaters? Yeah.
Yes. And it came back to theaters just a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God. Through Cinemark?
Yeah, and then that's where they showed the new art, or the Terrifier 3 segment was at the end of it. They tagged it on to the end of the re-release.
Cinemark I think, especially from having to come out of COVID, where I'm surprised a lot of their theaters didn't go, whereas United Artists, which is one of the other companies out here, I don't know I know you guys have a Cinemark out there. Is United Artists out in your guys' area ever? Have you ever had one?
Never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it, but not here.
Okay. United Artists. Maybe they're just big out here on the West Coast, or they used to be. They're dying real hard. We're losing a lot of theaters out here that were United Artists. I've never liked them in terms of theaters. I've always liked Cinemark used to be Century Theaters out here, but yeah, they're killing it in terms of these films that they're bringing back to the theater. That you have to remember, some of the films they're bringing back, generations before us didn't get to see in theaters.
That's true. We have different theaters out here. We've got AMC's, of course. They're not doing so hot. Cinemark's, they were one of the best theaters around here. It was like the Regal cinema that we had in Lexington. I mean,
Regal is United
massive
Artists
theater. Oh, okay. I didn't know that they were part of the same group. Yeah.
Well,
they're really dying, like big time.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I think that if they were to even attempt to stay alive, and I don't know if they could even do it at this point because Cinemark kind of has the game. I think they need to start showing these films that are people like, you know what, fuck it, I'll go see that in the theater. I didn't get to see that in the theater when I was a kid,
Well, that's the thing. Our Regal here does that. They call them Fathom events, and they show like older films all the time.
Okay, and ours are Fathom events too, but they're through Cinemark, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, because I don't think our Cinemarks here show Fathom events.
Okay, I mean, that's just things that we learn about the areas we live in. We're like, oh, well, I wish this happened. Well, that happens out here under this, and it's like, oh, well, that's weird because that happens here under this,
Yeah,
that's hella funny.
Because I've always associated Fathom events with Regal because the fact that Cinemark does like something else. They call it something else here. So
which brings up something to me real quick in terms of Cinemark, AK, whatever. You saw A Wonderful Knife.
Yes.
Did you see it at Cinemark?
No, I saw it at Regal.
Okay, because it's not available in Cinemark out here. Although the commercial, because the only theaters we go to are the Cinemark theaters. Not that we don't want to go to Regal or United Artists. It's just not. There's not a lot of them nearby, and none of the movies we're seeing are playing at them. Well, I think A Wonderful Knife is playing at Regal, and we need to find one because we haven't watched it. One, but two. I know 100% that I saw the commercials when I was watching a movie at Cinemark. I saw it when we were watching When Evil Lurks, and I saw it when we were watching Five Nights at Freddy's, all Cinemark theaters, but they're not playing at Cinemark theaters. And I was like, do they do that? Do they, show commercials for films that are not playing at their theaters?
It's possible they do. I don't even know if our Cinemark was playing it because I didn't even look, because that's the thing. If I have to go to the Cinemark, which is in Richmond, which is like an hour away, it's an hour and 20 minutes to the Regal, and the Regal has better seats. So I just go to the Regal.
Yeah, that's just interesting. So
our local theater wasn't playing it at all, but I mean, and they have, and I like, as far as price and the seating, they're probably the best combination, and they're the closest. But they've been like, now they actually are getting Thanksgiving. I'll give them that. They're getting that the next or this weekend. But they've been given just like, they've been doing all that shit that you normally see at just the regular theaters, like the Marvels and all that bullshit. So
yeah.
Anyways, when in full makeup as the heinously disfigured Victoria, Samantha Scafidi was almost completely blind. There was only one small hole in the fake right eye that she could see through during filming. Between shots, this eye could be removed.
Oh, okay.
The events of Terrifier 1 take place in 2017, and Terrifier 2 takes place 1 year later. So there's your chronology on when these movies take place.
That makes sense.
The little pale girl, Amelia McLean, was originally going to be more of an Italian horror-inspired horror girl wearing a sundress with flowers. However, after the success of Terrifier, writer-director Damien Leone saw pictures pop up of people dressing up as Art the Clown for Halloween, including several women and little girls. He knew that he had to do something with this, so then he redesigned the little girl to look like a small version of Art,
That's kind of cool. I wonder if she's like, I wonder how she feels about the whole production. I mean, she was in it, but... Was she like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done?
She was actually at Scarefest horror convention here in Kentucky with David Howard Thornton and the girl who plays Sienna. They were all three at it, and so she's into it. She likes it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Gotta start him young.
Writer-director Damien Leone stated on Instagram that Sienna is a character that he has been trying to get from page to screen for more than a decade. The writer-director says she is my favorite character I've ever written, and seeing Lauren Rivera breathe life into her has been an absolute dream come true that I will cherish always. I cannot wait for all of you Terrifier fans to see her in action. I promise you won't be disappointed. He added that Rivera was born to play Sienna, and as Lauren Rivera is trained in martial arts, she did most of her own stunts in this movie.
Oh, wow. I mean, not surprised, but...
That explains that body that you were talking about.
Body, yada, 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 yada.
Director Damien Leone stated in an interview with Bloody Disgusting's podcast, The Boo Crew, that actor David Howard Thornton was very active in writing Art's character. He and Leone brainstormed the kills together and even took the COVID-19 pandemic as an opportunity to expand upon pre-existing kills in the film.
Nice.
Filming of Terrifier 2 began in October of 2019 and was almost complete before COVID-19 quarantines.
Damn.
This is the fifth Art the Clown film, if you count the Terrifier short film, the Ninth Circle short film, the All Hallows Eve, and then Terrifier. Because he did appear in a lot of those other short films on that All Hallows Eve, so that's kind of what they're counting,
Yeah.
When Brooke's boyfriend Jeff first appears at the Halloween party, he arrives wearing a ghost costume made of a white bed sheet with a pair of glasses, which we know is a direct reference to Halloween and Bob.
It's my favorite Michael.
David Howard Thornton was disgusted when he had to pull the innards out of the bodies of his victims. He said they were cold, slimy, and gross.
Well, did you want them hot and steamy? Would that have made you feel better?
Apparently it would have.
Ugh.
And he would have had it with some salt and some bleach. Death Holler Awards, Final Girl. I'm going to say Sienna Shaw is probably one of my favorite final girls just because of everything I've said.
Yeah.
She got the looks. She's got the attitude. She was dead and came back. I mean, I can't ask for anything else in Final Girl. And she took the fight. She took the beating and she took the beating back to Art. So
yeah.
she did it.
I feel so dumb right now, but other Final Girls that came back to life that we've discussed?
I don't think there is, because once they were dead, they were dead.
Okay, because I don't like the coming back to life thing. I don't hate it, but I don't know. I don't know why it's just, it just chaps my anus a little bit. I don't know.
Technically, in the next movie or the next podcast, when we discuss one of the films that we're going to discuss, one of the final girls dies and comes back to life in that movie. Technically,
okay, yeah, okay, fine.
I don't know why you're so hung up on that, anyways. Because I mean, I just think it's a cool twist. If you're going to bring the killer, if you're going to bring the fucking slasher,
that's true.
Back,
but then we had that with Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, where it was just a new person. Now, again, you're right. I don't understand why it's bothering me so much, because I really did like Sienna. I loved her outfit. I loved. She looked like she was a fucking fighter. I think her hair kind of helped too, because she almost had, even though it was down, she had it kind of braided like a warrior on the side, almost like an MMA fighter would.
Yes, she did.
So I don't know. She just had that look to her. Yeah, and she was fucking taut. She's working out,
Yeah, I like I said, if they can bring the Art after he blew his fucking brains out back mysteriously,
then yes, they can bring back Sienna. Speaking of that, the slasher, Art the Clown, I'm immediately going to jump into that. I don't know if you had anything further to say about the final girl, but I'm jumping right to Art because the one thing I can say about Art, he's consistent.
Yeah, he's consistent in being sadistic and being into just drastic overkill. Like, whereas other slashers would stab you, Jason, being the gentleman that he is, would stab you one time with some kind of spear, and he would just let you die. That's it. That's the end of it.
No.
Art the Clown, no. You're not going to die with that spike. He's going to stab you a few more times with it. Then he's going to tear parts of your body off. Then he's going to pour salt, bleach, whatever to make it more painful. He's going to just keep adding to it before you finally die.
Yeah. He's determined. He's a dedicated king to his craft. He gives it his all, for sure.
To be honest, I do. There are parts of this movie that I really like. I mean, just the portrayal that David Howard Thornton, because the way that he has Art laugh after he does some of the shit that he does, like that, silent mime laugh or whatever. Like it's like, that's the funniest fucking thing I've seen in my life, and I was one that did that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of dig it. I kind of like it. What do you think about the best kill, which is clearly Allie in this movie? I mean, and I've got out from it in parentheses, Jesus. I mean,
it was it's so funny because it was one of those things that is so disgusting, but you also can't turn away. I don't know if that's how it was for you.
Yeah, you're just, it's like, did I just see, wait, did he just do that too? Like, no, wait a minute, now he did something else.
It just kept going and going. I think the only thing that took away from it is the fact that she's still breathing for the most part of it. And it's like, okay, well, that's impossible at this point, And not only the breathing part, that's one thing to be breathing. Okay, let's go with that and say that that's still happening. She lost feeling after a while. She did not feel the bleach and the salt. Oh, she was void of any kind of sensation at this point.
I would agree with you at the part where she was having her leg cut off, in the bed, and she was like mother or mommy or whatever she said as her mom came in. But I think she still had enough sensation to feel that salt, the bleach.
You think?
Just enough.
Okay, I mean, we'll go with it.
But the shock of that pain on top of everything else should have killed her.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it should have.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I'm just going to, since I've never personally have gone through what she has gone through, I'm going to be sensitive to what she may be feeling, which is a lot of pain.
But you can't say that there's another slasher that has done anything remotely like what he does in this scene.
I'm just mad that he didn't set her on fire as well.
Well, he went ahead and cut her mom's head after that too, and then served candy to kids. I mean, out of goal. So, I mean, it's not like he didn't continue on.
Yeah, a consistent art is consistent.
Best scream in the movie, I'm gonna give that to Brooke whenever he, happens upon Art the Clown and finally see it. Well, and also when her boyfriend gets his junk ripped off. So
yeah, that would hurt. Like, cause that's your future right there.
She's been getting that dick for quite a bit. I mean, and she even, bumped some cocaine with him right before that too. So they were going to get the freaky nasty going on, but Art didn't appreciate that.
They were, they didn't. And yeah, once his junk was ruined, you ain't having any kids.
She wasn't going to have kids anyways after the hydrochloric acid melted her face off, and then she was beat to death with that table leg. But
yeah, no, definitely not. Because at that point, you might as well just die. You got no future. You can't have kids with him. Just die.
Yeah, it was just a shame. No Molly can make you feel better after that. No amount of Molly can possibly take care of the pain from all that she had to endure. Side boob in the shower, and that ain't bad. It ain't bad.
No, it's not bad. Those are real too. She doesn't have fake boobies.
She doesn't have extravagantly large ones, but they're well proportioned to her body. I'll just say that.
I think she does. I think, because I'm looking at the picture. Let me go back to it. And she's got something that like they don't look ginormous, but she's also covered by this like huge chest plate,
Yeah, except for the scene where she's in the shower.
That's true, exactly. I think she is quite big. It looks proportionate because she's also not a super, super skinny girl.
She's curvy. That's why she's, she's hot. I mean, she's got curves.
She's muscular for sure. Nice flat stomach, but I think she's rocking a minimum D or double D because she's filling cups, even though she's on the smaller scale in terms of, back size and everything. And she runneth over on her bustier too.
So although we can't say that we get the full image, I mean, we get a glimpse. So that's something.
Get a little something.
Best side character is little pale girl. She does shit the laundromat with like the raunchiest diarrhea that's ever been put on film. But she's kind of funny otherwise.
Yeah, so. I think considering she has to be quiet, like it's one thing for an adult who has practiced being a mime to do a great job. This girl, I mean, fucking give it to her,
Yeah, she does actually a pretty good job for, like you said, a child actor. Maybe like Thornton's like been like giving her like tips on how to, act more like mime related and that sort of thing.
Or every time she says something, he beats the fuck out of her. I don't know.
With a whip made out of hair and razor blades. Yeah, that's probably what he does. Franklin Award, I'm giving it to Sienna's mom. She's a total bitch in this movie. There's not one scene where she really redeems herself.
No.
She kind of starts to say that she's sorry right before Art the Clown blows her fucking brains out. Kinda. I mean, she doesn't go the full way, but she kind of starts to get that way.
Yeah. She kind of deserved it. I hate to say it.
And the fact that those kids like they still love their dad so much, and she was like being so, she ripped up the comics that her son had like found that the last thing that their dad had drawn, and she ripped the pages out of it. Like that was a bitch move, like big time.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's the like this item that that they both the kids cherish because Sienna had been looking for it forever, didn't know that the brother had it. Or Jonathan, and like and whenever and when the mother finds it, she just ripped a piece up. She's like, "You fucking kid, you gotta just let this shit go." And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, you're just when that shotgun goes off, We're all happier for it. I'm just saying.
We're all better people now because of that scene.
How annoying is Doom Prophet? What's Jonathan? And he's kind of annoying.
He's annoying, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel bad because he goes through some shit, but yeah, he was annoying. They do it on purpose, but it's like these people who are the Doom Prophets don't know how to relay information properly. And there's a purpose for that, obviously, so that they don't relay information properly so that, people can't be rescued. But, man.
Well, it's funny, too, because they're Doom Prophets, but they're usually the one that meets their doom. So, I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
It just so happens. And Jonathan almost gets God at the end of this movie. Like, he comes within a hair.
Yeah.
Dumbest moment is Allie not giving Art the candy when he asked for it. So you got the first movie, the two girls making fun of him when they see him off to the side. And then you got Allie. You got this creepy guy standing on your doorstep, and he's asking for a piece of candy. Give him the fucking bag and shut the door. Like, I mean, not to say that he wouldn't came in and killed her.
Yeah,
anyways.
he was going to kill her anyways. No, he doesn't get candy and get to kill her. No. If you're going to kill me, you fucking better earn this candy. You better kill me first, and then you get the fucking candy, because he's going to kill her anyways.
No, listen to me. There is a chance, a 0.001% chance that Art would have looked at that and as fucked up as he is in the head, been like, okay, and then went to the next house. I'm not saying it was a huge chance, but it was a chance. So she should have gave the fucking candy to him.
And Allie was brunette in this film, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, she was. For some reason, I thought she was blonde. I don't know why. But I agree with you now because he loves himself a hot brunette. She wasn't as hot as Tara, but I think...
And definitely not as hot as Sienna, so, I mean, there's that.
Yeah, but I think she would have. Yeah, I think she's fine.
All right, so... what are your overall thoughts about Art as a new slasher?
I mean, he's like every slasher where he's got his thing. Like, you got Chucky, that's just a foul-mouthed little fucking doll. You got Jason, that's got his head turns and body turns. You got one-liners from Freddy. Art is just creepy just for being creepy. And it's appreciated. And
he gets to do the things that Jason in the older movies, the fans wish that Jason could have done. Like, if we would have had the level of gore that these movies put out in part 7 of the Friday the 13th movies, that movie would have been over the top good, like just next level.
Yeah, but it's an art that belongs to Art, though, literally, because you can't have that, because the reason why we were scared of those films is we're like, oh, well, don't go out in the woods alone. It's scary out in the woods. Or don't go to sleep. You're going to have a nightmare, with Freddy. Michael Myers, every Halloween, he's going to come back. I'm kind of glad. That's why I'm glad they're moving Art away from Halloween, because how many Halloween slashers are we going to have,
That's true.
So that's the thing is I respect the fact that Art has his own thing, and for us or for him it's gore.
Gore and the pleasure he takes in, because I mean, Freddy has that to some extent where he relishes in the pain that he causes in the people right before he kills them, because it's like he kind of gets something from the fear that they have.
Yeah.
But for Art, it's different. It's just like it's all a joke to him, and the more you suffer, the bigger the joke is to him.
Exactly. He's not right in the head. So I don't know. I like Art. I think he deserves his spot, as one of the horror slashers, not just a horror slasher. He's one of the horror slashers.
Well, that's the reason. I mean, I kind of cover it next episode, some of the ones we skipped over, but like that's the reason I want to make sure that we covered him. This season of this, because I mean we can go back and pick up some of the other ones, but like he fits into me more with the classics, and they all needed to be kind of covered at the same time. Freddy, Jason, Chucky, Art the Clown, Michael, they're all kind of in the same vein, as it were.
I think we did good. I think we've done really good, and we're not even done yet, but in terms of main slashers, we're done, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah, and if you don't want to include Saw in that, but
no, I thought
Saw's,
Saw we're going into next time we do slasher season.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that, if you're saying, I'm just saying if we covered all the major slashers and we did, the other than maybe the Saw, John, whatever his name is in those series, because it's late and I'm tired. So,
it's
but
okay.
I mean, it's.
No, but seriously, the only thing that I don't like about Jigsaw is that Jigsaw the doll kind of gets credit as a slasher, and he's not. It's John, but I get it because he looks so cool, Jigsaw.
Yeah, because Jigsaw is like the image you can put on a cover, and it makes people think of, Chucky or one, something like that. Whereas the guy behind him is like this older like guy, played by Tobin Bell, who's dying of cancer, and it's like, well, that guy's not scary. It's like,
Speaking of the Saw movies, we recently did a rewatch of them from the beginning from Saw 1 all the way through. And that is not the chronological order in which you should watch them. But if you go online and try to research, how should I watch the Saw movies? It does not make sense.
Well, I will say this. The only ones that I know of that make sense is 1, X, and 2. And then after that, it kind of gets weird.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. And even then, I feel like X would be before 1.
They make it in between the two of them because they say that he went down to Mexico to get treatment in X after the first movie.
That's true. And then the second would be like the third if we were to, I don't know. But yeah.
But yeah, getting back to that, I think we've covered, a good chunk of them. The Terrifier movies got their place. I can understand now why, it took to a part 2 though, honestly, because I did not dig part 1 as much as a lot of other people did. It's when I go back and watch it now, after I appreciate part 2, I see things in it that I like.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of bullshit with them running around in the same location, not changing anything. And that's one of my pet peeves in a movie. Like when I see the same place being used over and over and over again, I'm just like, will you change the fucking scenery just once? Like, it's a visual medium and I'm tired of seeing the same shit.
Which is funny because I felt like the part 1, I felt like it was the same location. I could be wrong. I know that there was technically a carnival, but when they were in that main building that was kind of, I don't know, I guess in shambles or needing to be rebuilt or whatever the fuck they were, it felt like they were in the same building as part 1.
Yeah, you're probably talking about that tunnel at the end.
Yes.
That's the only part that I know of that's like kind of downtrodden or whatever. But even then with that, they mix it up visually and it's got more, there's all that horror stuff, like from a haunted house on the wall. They don't have anything in the first movie. It's like dingy apartment building, looks like it's full of roaches.
Yeah.
Full of homeless people that's probably been shitting in the floor. I mean, it's like it got cat ladies with dolls in the basement. I mean, it's just okay. But that's what happens when you don't have a budget. And now that he's got a budget, he's making much better movies, and I'm digging what he's putting out there. So good on him.
I'm not upset. It definitely, the storyline got a little bit better. The final girl definitely got way better. So yeah, I'm not mad. I shockingly enjoyed watching these films. I don't really want to run to them like, oh, fucking kids, let's get together. Fucking Terrifier's on. I'll watch it if my husband's watching it or something. Which, by the way, I asked him, hey, do you want to join the Reverend and I for Terrifier? He has not seen them. Not 1 or 2.
How is that? Because I could have swore that he defended part 1 and then using the gun and that. But maybe he said that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Is maybe what he said.
It must be because like I said, I invited him. And I thought he was going to say no because he was tired. He was like, well, I would, but I haven't seen them. And I was like, what? And then he doesn't even know. I unfortunately spoil alerted him today. He did not know about the fucking snatch scene of getting sawed all the way through. I was like, okay.
I don't know how I knew about that before I even saw the movie because of that meme right behind your head.
Yeah.
That's how I knew about it.
Oh, what, this whole thing?
Yeah, that little thing.
Oh my God. So yeah, color me surprised. My husband who's seen fucking any weird scary movie that is not mainstream, which I guess Terrifier is mainstream now or it's getting there, but he's seen all the weird movies and he's not seen the Terrifier. He has seen parts of 2 again because our daughter put it on. So
Yeah, I don't. He might be one of those people that might like part 1 better. I don't know. I can't see that because I still think part 2's got a better story. But I'm seeing more and more people make that argument. They're just like, "Oh, it's creepier in the movie. It's a shorter movie. They get to the kills more." I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I just want the listeners to know because they can't see, but I can. The Reverend has a picture of Art the Clown right behind him, and sitting perfectly on top of the Reverend's head is Art the Clown's hat, and it has been cracking me up this whole fucking podcast. Hilarious. I love it.
Why? Why would they remove his hat from the next film? But
don't. I don't even want to see a Santa hat. I don't care if it's during Christmas time.
That's the rumor, though, that he's gonna be sans his little top hat in the next movie.
Which, okay, fine, whatever. It's not like we're gonna die, but still, it's like it's him. It's almost like removing Jason's mask.
That is true. I mean, it's like the one identifying thing to his face besides his big hook nose and everything else that he's got going on.
I mean, even when they had fucking Kane Hodder in space, he still had a badass mask that resembled it was just a improved version of what he normally had.
Yeah, when he was Uber Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's not like super long though. That's the thing. This one, the part 2 does, like we've discussed, it wears me out after a certain point. And I'm just like, well, by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I've run a marathon. I don't need any more right now. This is fine.
Yeah.
I'm hoping part 3 is a little bit snappier.
Oh, I agree with you. Dial it down. Well, you don't have to dial the deaths back a little bit, but maybe like don't have one death that lasts, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. It's unnecessary. And if you do, at least fucking light her on fire. If you're going to do everything to them, at least light them on fire at the end.
I guarantee you he doesn't light them on fire, but he shoves like a ball of like Christmas lights into their body and lights them up.
Oh,
he will
do
that,
yeah,
probably.
I kind of like that. We kind of got that from Violent Night a little bit.
We did, yeah.
I loved that. That was a good movie. I should watch that again.
So there you go. You can always watch it when you're watching Die Hard.
Jesus.
Anyways, I think that the next 2 movies we got are the perfect ones to end the season on, and I'm so excited to talk about them. And you'll get to hear that in a couple of weeks, I think. So a little spoiler alert for the audience out there. But with that, peace be with you.
And with your spirit.